y'all, and welcome back to another new video. Today I am starting just a little two-part mini-series on the Malfoy families. So this first part is going to be on the Malfoy family history, and then the second part, posted on Saturday, is going to be their family tree, like etymology, meaning of their crest, just like other information. Yeah, so definitely make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you're not already. Like this video if you like it, hit the bell notification, leave a comment letting me know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. Check out the down box to see everywhere else you can find me, and without further ado, we can jump right into the video. So the Malfoys are an ancient line of purebloods, and most of them went to Hogwarts, most of them were Slytherins, and the first Malfoy that we ever hear about is the first Malfoy to come to Britain. His name was Almond. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it. Malfoy. He founded Malfoy Manor on lands given to him by King William I. So I think something that's really important to recognize is way back in the day, like 1,000 years ago, rich wizards would associate with like high-class Muggle society. So the Malfoys included. This was before the time of like hating Muggles. So rich wizards would associate with rich Muggles, including the Malfoy family. So that's why they knew King William. And yeah, so the whole business of like pureblood supremacy and hating Muggles came a little bit later. So things started to change in 1692 when the International Statute of Wizarding Secrecy was passed. And at first the Malfoys objected to it passing because they wanted to continue fraternizing with the rich Muggles, especially because a lot of their wealth was originally built using Muggle currency. But eventually then they started to support it and switched to like hating Muggles. Yeah, so until it passed, they were integrated, and then afterwards it kind of slowly started to shift. And current day Malfoys actually deny this, but it's true. And one Malfoy, Lucius I, actually courted Queen Elizabeth I, but he didn't win her hand, and she never married, and so some wizarding historians believe that Lucius Malfoy placed a jinx on her as revenge for turning him down. And yeah, so over the years they continue to gain wealth and assets, and eventually they become one of the wealthiest families, wizarding families in Britain. And eventually when the British Ministry of Magic was formed, that's when they started to get into politics. And so now they weren't just rich, but they were starting to gain political influence as well. And there are several notable Malfoys that had political influence that I'll talk about in the next video when I go through their family tree. Yeah, because so like no Malfoy ever ran for minister themselves, but they are known to finance elections and pay to have opposing candidates hexed. So basically just like dirty politics all around, but just like with magic added to it. And basically they did this because they wanted to keep things the way that they wanted to keep them. It's pretty much the same way it is now, at least like, I don't know how it is in other countries, but at least in the United States, like rich people can donate a lot of money to politicians' campaigns as sort of like a, you better keep things the way I want you to keep them if you want money to run your campaign for re-election in 2 years or whatever. So that's like a thing I'm sure all over the world where money does play a huge role in politics, and like politicians may push agendas that they don't even necessarily believe just because that's what their rich backers believe. So that's basically what the Malfoys do. And so they cared a lot about keeping their lineage pure, just shifting gears a little bit away from politics. So they cared a lot about keeping their lineage pure, but they would not go so far to inbreed, which is very common in the purebloods. Like the Blacks inbred, the Lestranges inbred, the Gaunts inbred. So the Malfoys wouldn't go that far. And because they were against inbreeding, they would at times allow certain members of their family to marry half-bloods. So on their extended family tree, you can find several half-bloods. And yeah, so this showed that they weren't quite as fanatical as the Black Lestranges or Gaunts. However, these families still respected them, despite them not actually being fully pure. And this might have been because of their wealth and power that they continued to respect them, even though they weren't fully living up to their ideals of like purity at all costs. So shifting forward a bit to more modern history, so kind of like the Malfoys we see, we have Lucius, who is the son of Abraxas Malfoy, and he becomes a Death Eater when Voldemort first rises to power. And so by marrying Narcissa Black, the Malfoys become related to the Blacks, which is like one of the most important wizarding families as well. And they really like Voldemort because of his pureblood supremacist ideals. And in 1996, when Lucius fails to obtain the prophecy, the Malfoys do fall out of favor with Voldemort. They were definitely like not loved by Voldemort at first, but you know, he found them useful, he liked them, whatever. I don't know how you would put it. But they were in his favor, and they fall out of it in 1996 at the Battle of the Department of Mysteries when Lucius fails to obtain the prophecy, and in fact the prophecy breaks. And Lucius was also put into jail after this, if you remember, in Azkaban. And basically, this is why Voldemort selects Draco to have to kill Dumbledore. So it's not because he believed in Draco or thought Draco could do it. In fact, he was pretty sure Draco wouldn't be able to. So basically, Draco had to kill Dumbledore or Voldemort was going to kill Draco. And he was basically banking on Draco to fail so that he could kill him as punishment to Lucius for failing to get the prophecy. He knew it would hurt Lucius more to have Draco killed than if he just killed Lucius directly. So when Lucius does break out of Azkaban and the Malfoy Manor is being used as headquarters, that wasn't an honor. They were really out of favor with Voldemort. I mean, Voldemort took Lucius's wand and he did it in front of Death Eaters, which I'm sure was humiliating. And he would often make fun of the Malfoys for being related to the Tonks family, for example, because they had like Muggle-borns in their family. So they were, you know, not nice to them. And basically, at the final battle, the Malfoys finally defected. So they didn't fight in any of the battles. And Narcissa even lied to Voldemort to protect Draco and potentially to help Harry. I know that there's people have differing opinions on if. So basically the reason that Narcissa Malfoy lied was because since she knew that Draco was still alive, it was really in her personal interest to protect him. Obviously she loves her son. And the best way to protect him is to end the battle and get them all back to the castle where she can grab him and they can leave, which was their plan, obviously, as we see. But I wonder if Draco had died, if he died in the fire, and Harry had told Narcissa, yeah, Draco's dead, if she would have still protected him, or if she would have told Voldemort that he was alive. That's the argument I see, that maybe if Draco had been dead, she wouldn't have protected Harry. Some people think she really did care about Harry and really did want Harry's side to win. I don't really have a position. So whatever you guys think is fine. So definitely to protect Draco, maybe to protect and help Harry. And because of this defection, they do avoid Azkaban. And sometime in the next few years, Draco marries the pureblood Astoria Greengrass. She's another pureblood from one of the Sacred 28 families. I have a video on all of the families of the Sacred 28 if you're interested. And they have a son together named Scorpius. And their family life is very tense. So Lucius and Narcissa didn't really change that much. They still believe in pureblood supremacy. But Draco and Astoria do not. Both of them had a big change of heart. They don't believe in pureblood supremacy, they don't hate Muggles, and they raise Scorpius this way to be an accepting individual, as we see in The Cursed Child. And like Narcissa and Lucius were disappointed in this, and so there's a lot of tension there. And so sadly, even Draco wanted the Malfoy, was so upset with his family that he wanted the Malfoy line to end with him. He was gonna not have a kid. But Astoria was going to die eventually. She knew this because there was a blood curse placed on her. And so she didn't want Draco to be alone after she died. And obviously we see that Draco's a pretty good dad. So it obviously was good that they ended up having a kid. And so of course, when Scorpius is 13, Astoria does eventually die, leaving Draco a single dad of Scorpius. And that's kind of where their lineage ends for now. I'm sure we'll see Scorpius marry. I know some people think he marries Rose. I haven't really seen that confirmed 100% anywhere that they do end up together. But yeah, so that is basically the history of the Malfoy family up until now. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about their family tree and some other little aspects about the family. And yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, bye y'all.